Very good afternoon to all. So, in the next couple of 15 to 20 minutes, I will give you an overview on what Startup India initiative is and what all related benefits are under the initiative that you can go ahead and apply for. So, I would like to start with, what startup is actually. How do you define it? I mean, what are the keywords that comes to your mind when we talk about a startup, right? So, one is, I think, it's innovative, it's scalable, it solves a socio-economic problem or rather, improves the living standards. And of course, it generates revenue, improves the economy of the geographic location or the country at large. So in the screen here, you can see some of these examples that we, will resonate with. Swiggy is a food tech startup. We have Flipkart, which is an e-commerce startup. Then Byju's, an edtech. All of these startups have a scalable model and innovative solution, and they are generating huge employment opportunities. Coming to Startup India initiative, it is the central government nodal agency under DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The parent company is Invest India, which is India's national investment promotion agency. We are housed in New Delhi. The genesis of Startup India initiative can be traced back to 2016 when our Honorable Prime Minister launched the initiative with the objective to build a more robust and a conducive environment for the startups in the country. The action plan primarily focuses on three key pillars. One is on simplifying the regulations and reducing the compliance burden such that businesses can focus more on their core. Secondly, mobilizing domestic as well as international capital to provide fund support to these startups. And finally, collaborations with the ecosystem stakeholders such as central government departments, ministry, industry, academia, incubators, accelerators. This is to create a more inclusive ecosystem as well as work together for the betterment of the ecosystem. In the past couple of years, the startup ecosystem has evolved drastically. To give you some numbers, it is the third largest in terms of the number of unicorns that we have. It's the second largest in terms of number of startups, and one of the fastest growing ecosystems in terms of the numbers of startups getting recognized every day. On an average, we have about 80 startups which get recognized every day, and our team is working relentlessly to get these startups recognized. We have over 80,000 plus startups who are registered under DPIIT Startup India initiative, and these come from the length and breadth of the country, from 650 plus districts across. And finally, as I mentioned, it generates massive employment opportunities, that is 7.8 lakhs roughly, which I think substantiates the fact that we are moving from a country of job seekers to a country of job creators. So in the screen, this is a representation of how we have grown as an ecosystem over the years. The number of recognized startups, as you can see, it has grown manifold. Then in terms of unicorns also, back in 2015 we had 10 unicorns and today we are 100 plus. On the policy front, we had only 4 startup policies in states and UTs. And today we have startup policies for 31 states and UTs. So, again, on the startup definition, the government has given us a definition which is more robust in nature, which is more broad. And if an entity qualifies this definition, they are eligible to apply for the DPIIT recognition process. So what is this DPIIT recognition process? I'll speak in more detail. So here, a legally incorporated company, that is a private limited company, an LLP, and the registered partnership, 10 years from date of incorporation, that is, let's say your company is incorporated in 2022, till 2022, it will fall under the startup, within the ambit of startup. And it should not exceed 100 crore in any fiscal year. And of course, it should have a innovative, scalable, the other criteria that we mentioned. So once it qualifies this definition, they can apply for DPIIT recognition. So the DPIIT recognition process is a fairly simple process. It's online. You can visit the Startup India website, which is startupindia.gov.in, and very basic supporting documents are required, a brief about what your company is about, what the model is, so on and so forth. And yeah, once you submit it, the team takes roughly 3 to 4 working days to evaluate, and if it is a complete application, you receive a certificate of recognition from the Government of India. So again, DPIIT recognized startups then become eligible to a host of government incentives. The ones that you can see on screen, I will walk you through them. So starting with easier public procurement norms. So there is relaxation on procurement norms. So basically the process how you can, sell your products and services to public entities. There is a portal which is called Government E-Marketplace, wherein government departments and ministries directly procure from these startups. GEM portal, I repeat again, and there are exemptions on prior turnover, years of experience, EMD if you are a DPIIT recognized startup. So we are to promote and to support IPR. There are a couple of benefits. There is rebate provided for patent and trademark applications. And if you are looking for advisory support on how to go about your IPR, we also have IPR facilitators which are onboarded on our platform, and you can connect with them. So we do understand the importance of retaining and reinvesting your profits back into your business. With that aim, we have plenty of tax exemption benefit. One of them is the Section 80 IAC tax exemption benefit. It provides you an exemption on the income for a period of 3 consecutive years from the time of incorporation. We also have exemption from angel tax. That is, if you are raising investments above fair market value, you can avail for the angel tax. It's again simplified. More of these tax benefits are again through online mode from the website. And finally, coming to the funding support. We have the seed fund scheme for these startups. It's a corpus amount of 945 crore, and startups can avail grant amount through this initiative. So this is again through the incubators. The incubators are onboarded with us, and incubators disperse the seed amount to these startups. There's eligibility criteria for these startups as well. It has to be a fairly young company, 2 years from time of incorporation. So there's a separate seed fund website for that. And finally, we have the fund of funds for startups, which is basically for growth stage startups. The fund of fund model is equity based model. SIDBI is the fund manager, and SIDBI has onboarded around 80 plus venture venture capital firms. And these venture capital firms again, directly fund the startups. So we focus on enabling resources as well as supporting these startups throughout the life cycle. In the screen, you can see the support initiatives that we have to sort of handhold these startups. For startups who are in the ideation stage, they can access the learning and development course, which is there on the website. Then there's the idea bank as well. And let's say if you are a young, fairly new startup and you need to reach out to legal firms to incorporate your company or any other benefits, we have some pro bono services on the website. So we partner with a lot of stakeholders and they in turn offer pro bono services. And finally, for startups who are in a much advanced stage, they can apply for the incentives that I have just highlighted under the Startup India initiative, like tax exemption, fund of funds, for easier compliances, so on. Another critical pillar for us is to work closely with the government departments, ministries, as well as the corporates. And we have in the past launched a couple of joint initiatives that support these startups. These programs, you can participate in these programs and sort of avail cash grants, mentorship, market access, pilot opportunities by participating and winning through these programs. Again, these are live and active on the Startup India website. And finally, we also we are enabling market access for these startups to promote cross-border exchange as well as knowledge exchange. We closely work with embassies as well as high commissions or joint initiatives that support startups. To give you an example, in Dubai Expo and also recently as I'm speaking, the Slush initiative, which is going on in Helsinki, we have taken a delegation of Indian startups to sort of give them the exposure in the international market. Another intervention that has revolutionized is the single source of information, which is the Startup India Hub portal. It is considered to be one of the largest virtual incubation for these startups in the country, and it is home to about 5 lakh plus users. So this is basically a one-stop platform for startups to network with their peers, with the ecosystem enablers, as well as access a host of resources. Coming to the pro bono services, like I mentioned, if you're a fairly early stage startups and you're looking to incorporate your company, we have partnered with these organizations that you can see on the screen, which are offering you pro bono, that is free of cost services to these startups who are registered with us. We have legal firms like Vakil Search, Lawyer, Techstart, who can help you incorporate your company and also provide you the advisory support you need there. If you want to develop your website or an application and you're looking out for some free cloud credits, AWS is providing it. And again, we do have some pro bono application-based services, cloud telephony services as well. Finally, I would want to highlight the Maarg Portal. So, we aim to mentor the entrepreneurs in the nation. The Startup India DPIIT has conceived a focused national mentorship portal, which is called the Maarg Portal. So startups can connect, it's a one-stop platform for startups to connect with experts, seasoned experts, as well as industry stalwarts, and seek mentorship and advisory support from them throughout their growth cycle. For this, you can visit the mark.startupindia.gov.in. We are currently open on our registrations from both mentors as well as startups. These are the profiles of some of the mentors we have already onboarded. So this is going to be a virtual mentorship experience, pan-India across all geographic locations. So in case you want to understand and navigate around how to go about your entrepreneurial journey, you can definitely log on and connect with some of the experts that we have on this platform. So I think that is it from my side. Thank you.